Welcome back to The New Perspective. My name is Rena Risper, and this is our last segment with Sharen Lange. I've had the most fantastic and amazing time speaking about TryJazz, and before the break we were talking about our young people and the future of jazz. How many people do you want to connect with?
As many as we could. I know that's a broad statement, and although we are educators in our past and in our training, we certainly are not in the forefront and not in the schools now. I mean, there are programs across our country, jazz study programs, one of the strongest in the country being right here in East Lansing with Rodney Whitaker, who are doing a phenomenal job making sure that they're teaching this music to keep it alive. They're sharing it. Wynton Marsalis out of New York, and what he does with Jazz at Lincoln Center globally is absolutely so profound and so much more in-depth and encompassing than this little idea that we have started here. But if we could just play a small part, and I think, not all great ideas and great programs and great initiatives start at the top where there are already big people involved, although we do have some really significant contributors.
And you've worked on some really amazing projects, too, other than the Lansing Jazz Festival.
Yeah, I have. I had the great fortune of working as a director of development for the Indianapolis Jazz Fest. I did a international CD release for Owl Studios, was an independent record label out of Indy, and had a great opportunity, actually worked with the Headhunters, two gentlemen, Bill Clark and Bill Summers, who recorded with Herbie Hancock and sort of were the founders of Jazz Fusion. And I was able to project manage their CD release in 2010. So I've really quickly, and in just a few short years, have had some great doors open and the wonderful opportunity to dabble in a lot of neat circles and neat areas of the music industry and come to love it and want to continue to do that. And this is just a way for me to give back with the passion of education and children and the music and, again, form those links for people.
Now the concert is for adults and children alike, and for everyone, and featured in that first concert on April 26th is going to be Jim Alfredson. He'll be on the organ. And
correct.
Twyla Birdsong, who'll be a vocalist.
She will. A gentleman named Ralph Tope is our guitarist, who is almost a prodigal player, a student out of MSU, graduate student who does work. Sean Dobbins is our drummer. Sean is just a powerhouse drummer out of Detroit. He is on faculty at U of M, Oakland, and Wayne State. Sean is additionally the director for the Southeast Michigan Music Academy. So just a phenomenal educator, performer, recording artist himself. My husband, Brian Lange, will be featured on saxophones on Jazz is Blue, and Derek Gardner, of course, will be our band leader, our feature as the artistic director also on trumpet, and I think really provides just the integrity, I think, throughout the entire vision that we really need to make sure that we are adequately and appropriately keeping jazz in the spotlight.
Now, are you going to have other learning opportunities, or what I'm finding is that, I'm thinking to myself, wow, I'd like to learn a lot more myself about just about where they come from, because it looks like everybody who is performing has either impacted a child or has been loving jazz or music since they were a child themselves.
Oh, certainly. Everyone is a recording artist on this first album, and the personnel will change a little bit. There will be elements that will stay the same, but as we switch genres, we will be bringing in feature and special guest artists to make sure we're representing, the funk, the soul, the pop music, and the R&B that we'll be doing. And so, but absolutely, on TryJazz.com, there is a page, a band member page, where there are links to these fine performers' websites where you can get additional information on their bios, even find music that they themselves have recorded. And I'd urge people to do that. This is not just, I think, your typical music event or concert. This is really a vision, and it has a purpose. And all of these fine people who are joining with us are doing so out of love for jazz music, love for the vision of the project, and we just are so grateful and can't thank each one of them enough for coming on board with us, because they've made concessions to do so. We are not a big for-profit venture, and they have been gracious with their time and their talent.
So the funk portion is the next TryJazz album number 2. And that's scheduled for October 2014. So we may have to have you back for an update because the website has the first album's artists already listed, and you're waiting to get your second jazz album ensemble together. And this is really an interesting way to put it all together and to make it real for people and to make them really understand what jazz is. And I thank you so much for being in the studio today to give us some insight about what's going on in the jazz arena.
Rena, thank you so much. We really appreciate people like you who are embracing the idea and helping it to become infectious. And just eternally, our gratitude for the opportunity. And we hope to have you in our audience. We'd love to have you be our guest.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. We're in the studio with Sharen Lange again. Jazz is at www.TryJazz.com. My name is Rena Risper, and you're listening to The New Perspective on MichiganBusinessNetwork.com. Please tune in on Mondays at 11 a.m., 5 p.m., and 11 p.m.